started on time today, so that might be good news, hopefully. So let's just get the chat open. Like always, this is a quick hour of just Q&A sessions with anything happening in the AI and semiconductor market. I'm going to be showing stream in a bit, but let me just pull up everything to make sure everything is running good, sound is good, and I don't miss stuff. But the market's a little bit choppy today, right? I mean, especially in some of the AI stocks names. Let me just share screen. Let's share screen. Let's share window. And let's share this one. Right. Youth says AMD plus NVIDIA equals a happy year of 2026. I mean, I could see this. I think both companies are going to do really, really well this year. I think the AI market is still extremely, extremely early. And yeah, while I agree, I think the AI market is going to do great news for the semiconductor industry. AI Money, what's going on? AI Money, good morning. I'm here for my daily CoreWeave fix. CoreWeave did announce some stuff today, right? I think CoreWeave. Let's actually go to NVIDIA first. Well, let's see how CoreWeave stock is doing. CoreWeave stock. CoreWeave stock is pretty much flat for the day. I did see early this morning things were up a nice amount, and then I stopped looking, and this is what happens when I stop looking. It just drops. But I think CoreWeave dropped some news today, and good morning, Sage Specter. So let's go to CoreWeave Investors Relations website. Let's see. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free, or was it CoreWeave? No, would it be news? Some CoreWeave newsroom. I don't know why I synced it like that. Newsroom, is it here? No. There's something that came out today. CoreWeave news? No. All right. NVIDIA news? Pilot. Huh. Maybe I missed it. I thought there was a new training. ML Perf. Was there any training that happened? Data as of nope, there wasn't. Okay, never mind. I guess I read something wrong. So no CoreWeave news. There was nothing. I thought they, for some reason, I thought they released some new benchmarks, but I guess that wasn't today. Maybe it was just old news. Sage Spectre, what are your thoughts on Tesla's real world AI? I mean, Sage, I do think Tesla has a bit of an advantage for the manufacturing side. I mean, I personally use their cars. I own a Tesla and I use FSD whenever I'm on it. Right, it's amazing, and I definitely think you can kind of translate some of that what they've learned, not everything, but whatever they learned to the robotic space. So real world AI is definitely a growth opportunity for Tesla. Now the question is, how quickly are we going to start to see more implementations of the robo taxis? How quickly are we going to see implementations of the vehicles? Right, that's another thing. Not the vehicles, or robotics. Because Elon just, I think today gave a timeline. Let's go to X. I think I was just seeing it. Someone posted on X that Elon mentioned he plans to begin selling humanoid robots to the public by the end of next year. And if you follow Elon, at least with his track records of roadmaps, you could add a few months, maybe a few quarters, maybe a few years to that. But yeah, it seems like he is excited for physical AI, but even the robotic space, right? Even the robotic space, at least for the consumer, is not starting till sometime next year. What's going on, Doug Attack? You know, it's cool to see some of the same people over and over, like Sage, AI Money, Duck Attack. It's pretty cool. So I hope everybody's having a good day. I know the market's a little choppy, right? I think let's look at heat map. Let's just have the heat map open real quick. It's actually not that bad, right? You have Meta up 3%. You have Oracle up 2.4%, but Oracle was kind of dying yesterday. You have Amazon up 1%. You have flat here. You have some Lam Research. All right, there are some semiconductor stocks that are red. We'll probably look at them in a bit. But let's see. Chime, what's going on, Chime? Hi, Jose. Do you think it'll be relative better for small cap semiconductor? Relative better in compared to like, in compared to how they normally are, or compared to bigger caps, to larger caps? I think it's for small cap semiconductors, it's definitely going to be better than historical, because with this AI wave, right, with this AI wave, you're going to see a lot of need for these small caps can be producing something and can see massive revenue growth, and that can make a big difference for them. The thing is, some of those small caps have definitely run up a nice amount, but obviously, it's like this in any type of bullish or new innovative market, Chime. The smaller players have that high reward. If they get chosen, if they end up working with one of the big players, revenues can grow dramatically, and that's how you get some of these crazy multi-baggers is from the smaller caps players. But there's a lot of volatility there, and then you also have the risk of, hey, what baseline are you kind of looking into a formal business? What's going on, Simon? I agree. Normal crazy market days. We have companies like Arista Networks up 10%, Navitas up 7%, Indie up 6.4%. At least those last two that I talked about were our smaller names. ARM is up 4%. But then you also have some red today, right? I mean, Lam, I'm surprised to see Lam Research, and let's just go to TradingView real quick. I'm surprised to see Lam Research down about 3.6%. Credo Technologies, which is interesting. We just did a very long, a deep dive, kind of a deep dive on Credo on the overall community of what the chip happened. So interesting to see this one down after that deep dive. I got to think about some things there, but what else do we have? You have Applied Digital, Nebius. They're turning back around. I know Nebius, whatever you guys want to call it, was pretty much down on the day. Well, it started up green. Then we saw some red. Now we're pretty much flat. Same with CoreWeave, right? CoreWeave up a nice amount, then went to flat, red, and now we're kind of going to flat. So hopefully we see a nice turnaround on maybe some of these AI stocks. We do have Intel earnings though. Today after the market closes. How is Intel doing? Intel stock. Normally I hate to see this, right? I don't own Intel, but a month before earnings, you're up 50%. Expectations are going to be high. And if you don't deliver, it could get bloody. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you just don't deliver, things would get pretty scary after a 50% run up in 1 month. That is wild for your favorite semiconductor company. AMD for live. Let's go to the moon. Nice, Shay. And Jose, I just bought my first condo, all with AMD's gains. Congratulations. That's a massive, massive W, Shay. Congrats on that. Best of luck to the condo. Is it for your living? Is it a real estate investment for rental properties? Whatever it is, congratulations, Shay, and much there. Morning, NVIDIA King. NVIDIA is always king. NVIDIA is always king. Except when Shay's around. Shay would say AMD's king. NVIDIA flat till earnings. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind that if NVIDIA is flat till earnings. The only thing is we do have not CES. What do we have? We have GTC. When do we have NVIDIA GTC? March 6th. When is NVIDIA earnings? Do we know when NVIDIA earnings are going to be? I don't think we know. Yeah. But there could be some excitement. I think it's actually going to be, it has to be before this, right? They have to share some information. before this. But GTC could create a lot of excitement for the stock. But yeah, I mean, past month, NVIDIA is literally flat. I like to see that going into earnings. I think there's a lot of opportunity here still. Let's see. Any time to do an Aehr video? Big Bear, Big Beard. I don't know why I thought Big Bear. Big Beard. There hasn't really been any major changes for me for Aehr stock. Oh, that is not Aehr. What the heck? Aehr stock, 30%. I mean, I might have covered them a little bit when earnings came out in like a mixture of a video. But I don't know. I mean, if you want my overall thoughts, I am bullish on Aehr Test Systems, right? First, you have kind of a massive investments happening in the equipment space. Aehr Test System provides is in the equipment market. So you just have that tailwind of bigger wallet spending, right? So that's number one. The second tailwind that they have is they are focusing in burn-in test solutions for the AI accelerator market, which, as we know right now, is getting extremely excited, and it's been excited, but we continue to see growth. The third tailwind is they talked about working with memory players soon for some of their burn-in test and solutions, which we know how the memory market is doing. So that's another excitement there for Aehr Test System. The final thing I would say is chips you just need to improve the yields of chips, either being and a lot of that happens at the wafer level and kind of at some of the beginning portions of the manufacturing phase, and Aehr Test System hits that and also hits the kind of the end phase when the chip is also made. So I like it for that. Obviously, there's some competitors in this space, but with the market cap of less than $1 billion, it also opens up the opportunity of even an acquisition. So those are my thoughts on Aehr Test System. Sean, what's going on? We'll watch back after gym. Hope y'all having a great week. Big Beard. Yep, I hope everybody's having a great day, great week, and enjoy the gym. What's up, Asaf? Hi, Jose from Israel. You are awesome. Will NVIDIA go up after upcoming earnings? PE will be very low. The forward P, if it doesn't, forward PE is just going to look insanely cheap, right? I mean, let's look at fiscal.ai really quickly. Then if you're not using fiscal.ai, make sure you use fiscal.ai/Jose to get 15% off. I use this platform on a daily basis. So let's look at ratios for NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure someone's going to go out there, Jose, not NVIDIA again. I didn't bring it up. Someone brought it up, right? No, I didn't start talking about NVIDIA. But forward PE ratio of 26.38 for a company that's expected. Oh my God, this is insane. If the AI market is really in early innings, we are just getting 26 forward PE ratio right now. Are you kidding me? This is wild. Sometimes I just wish I had more money so I can just throw more AMD, more NVIDIA, and probably, I think the Max 7s, it's crazy. It's boring. I know it's boring, the Max 7s, but I think a lot of the Max 7s are just extremely well valued right now. Sean, Jose, you got me going all in on AMD. AMD, if MI450 does amazing, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year for AMD. What's going on, Sean? Let's see. 50 likes as tech, hashtag 50 likes as the tech industrial revolution accelerates. Well, let's accelerate the AI infrastructure. We're just getting started, right? Hi, Jose. By the way, Arista is down 6% on a yearly basis. Arista Networks has definitely taken quite a hit, right? I mean, let's look at, I'm going to say I don't follow this one much. This year is going to be the year I'm going to learn more about companies. I guess it depends. After today's gains, but still, it's pretty much flat for a whole year during this whole crazy roundup. But some of these stocks did see kind of that massive returns earlier on. But Arista Networks, I don't own. I do think it's a fan favorite, right? I think a lot of people own this one. Good morning, Big Buck. Good morning, Star Buccaneers. Welcome, welcome. Watching from Roatan, Iceland, Honduras. Really enjoyed your stock analysis. Appreciate it, Freeman. I heard it's beautiful over there. My wife talks about one day maybe just. My wife just wants to go everywhere, but yeah. Duck Attack, yeah, agree, right? Congratulations on the condo with the AMD. Kings of all, ASML, AMD, TSM, NVIDIA. I mean, I own two of those. ASML, TSM, I don't own, but I think those two are still going to do well. Martin, 28th, is that for NVIDIA's? I'm guessing that's NVIDIA's earnings date. Yeah, so we got NVIDIA's earnings date 28th, and then we have GTC in March, which maybe I might go to where are they? Santa Clara? No, San Jose. But I'm gonna do GT. Simon, Jesus, New Era Energy. Is the company called Jesus New Era Energy? That's a wild name. So, New Jesus New Era Energy. Sorry. I don't think that's the name of it, right? Oh, it's just New Era Energy. That is wild. 102%. What is this? Have you talked about this? Simon, is this the one you were just talking about in the community? Were you just, I know you talked about MRAM recently, and now you just talked about another one. Is this it? Thank you all. You're all our family. Shay, congratulations. What's going on, June? Good morning. Good morning. Martin, stop giving me fake news. Is it 28th or 25th? 25th, but it's the end of February. All right, so it's before GTC. So NVIDIA is definitely gonna, I mean, I hope it stays flat, right? I really do. I don't like too much excitement before earnings. But long term, still excited with the with NVIDIA long terms. Yeah, Enphase is running. What's Enphase? That's the solar company, right? No. This one took a massive hit, right? Wasn't it in the 200s? No, maybe not. It was, right? Maybe then. But then it was in the 100s. I don't follow this one. I just know something about solar and inverters somewhere. I don't follow Enphase much, so I can't really speak about it. But I know it's like a lot of people were talking about it last year when they kind of did from the 100s, or that's 2024. Then I stopped hearing about it. Are things going to turn around here? $5 billion solar energy. Solar is what we need to power the data sensors. I don't know what they do, but it's solar it. Onto added to the watch list. Yes, Onto is great. I think anything that deals with metrology, that deals with providing improvements in yields, can do really, really well. The only thing is definitely seen a run up. I mean, year to date up 30%. But in the past year, it's down 4.5%. So crazy run up recently. Just because of 200, but I guess for a small company, right, Simon? I think we're talking back, and I know some people hate that we go back and forth, but this is just a Q&A session. That's what we do for the full hour. New Era Energy with the 480 megawatts, if 250 megawatts with a 480 million market cap, pretty small. I guess any big. I mean, 250 megawatts announcement is huge, so that can go a long, long way. Got my starter in Credo yesterday. Nice, Ethan. We did the deep dive. It's on the community. If you are part of the community, anybody part of the community, we did do a deep dive on Credo to understand the business. I think once you read it, you at least know 70 to 80% of the business, right? And probably get to read it in like 10 minutes or so. Today, I'm actually going to be doing one on Astera Labs. NVIDIA stock for the last 4 months has been quiet, right? I think so. It's okay, right? I think most of us are investing for like, I know I am. I mean, I don't mind. These 11% in the past 6 months, I think that's still really great. My money grew 11% in the past 6 months. That's how I see it. I don't see those ups and downs. 11% in the past 6 months, that's really good returns for my cash. Perspective. Ethan, can you explain the difference between Micron's HBM and SanDisk NAND? Well, first HBM, Ethan, is DRAM, right? And then it's usually used for more like solid state for kind of like hard drives. Um, DRAM, right? In theory, DRAM, when you turn off when you turn off power, you don't have anything else stored. Opposed to NAND, if you turn off, it's like a storage system. So that's the top one-on-one on them. Completely different solutions. HBM is being used on AI accelerators a lot. But with the growth of AI servers, with the growth of data storages, you're seeing kind of a growth of NAND. Um, Yeah. So I mean, that's the big top 101. It's just different. They're both memories, but they're different types of memories. One is used for more of like the now, and one is for like the hold, if that makes sense. Uh, Thoughts on Intel? I 2x my position, wondering if I should sell. That's, I mean, you were smart enough, Venka, to buy the stock. Now, that's something I can't tell you. I mean, the stock, there's opportunity in the long term. In the short term, there's always volatility. I always say to myself, this is one thing that I do think about. If in the next 5 days, a stock, just think of your overexposure. Do you think you're overexposed? Do you not think you're overexposed? Are you going to regret it? The stock drops 15%. Are you not going to mind it? Um, like, which are you going to regret? Are you going to regret if the stock drops 10%, or are you going to regret if you sell and the stock jumps up 10%? And whichever you regret more, I think it tells if you are over invested or under invested in the company. Um, Hi, Jose. Wondering, do you ever buy options or sell options? I do, Spicy. Uh, I don't buy much options. I'm more of an option seller. During red markets, I tend to sell puts. Um, and during green markets, if I feel I'm overexposed, I sell a bit of calls. But let's say for CoreWeave, let's say I have like 2,000 shares of CoreWeave. I don't sell 20 shares of calls of CoreWeave. I might sell like two or three. So if they do get assigned, I still have like 1,700 shares, right? So if I sell options on the down on green days on like calls, I tend to do minimal positions, and they're usually never naked. I tend to have the equity when I sell calls. When I sell puts, I tend to have the cash available as well. So I do sell it, but it's not an everyday occurrence. It has to be a very red market or a very green market. Right now, I'm not really doing anything because I feel like we're in the middle. I feel like, at least for the stocks that I normally sell calls or puts for, we're just like, it's not low enough for me to sell puts. There's not too much fear, but it's not high enough for me to feel overexposed. Um, Hi, Jose. Do you still work? Subhash. Do you still work? If not, how do you manage your living expenses? Are you living off your stock investments? Would you mind sharing your strategy? So, Subhash, I do this, right. So YouTube pays me with ads. I also do sponsors, right, in YouTube, which is probably a good portion of my revenue. Even though I do would say I'm blessed with my stock investments, I imagine my stock portfolio isn't there. Even though I've had great wins with AMD and NVIDIA, I really act like my portfolio is not there. My portfolio is for emergency moment where maybe I can't work anymore, where maybe I don't know, where something happens and I need it. But right now, I am extremely blessed with this YouTube channel. Sponsor deals, partnerships go a long way. And usually you will see them, right? I have Motley Fool as a sponsor. I have Fiscal.ai as a sponsor. Then I have my overall community channel, which is also a self sponsor as well. So all that helped me make a decent living, as if I was being paid myself. And that's how I manage it, right? And luckily my wife is also pretty well off. And she has a great job as well. So that's how we do it. Um, so for me, my investments, they're I that's why I guess for me, like, I'm truly a long-term investor. As long as I can make money myself, that money is not going to come out of that portfolio anytime soon. Um, it's crazy low, to be honest. I think we're talking about NVIDIA here. Hola, Jose from Central Florida. Event, nice, nice. Central Florida. I enjoy Florida. That's like the second home. Wicked stock indicates that if NVIDIA doesn't drop below 177, it can go to 220 in 2 to 3 months. May it pump after blowout earnings? I agree. Let's fingers crossed. I think earnings are going to be crazy. If not, I think GTC is going to be crazy. Buy dips 3 times. Let's buy dips 3 times. Jose, why do I hear so many people report a forward PE ratio of 40 for NVIDIA? That's wild. I don't know why. They might be talking about current PE ratio. What is current PE ratio for NVIDIA? Current PE. The other thing, let's see. So current PE is 45.74. They might be talking about that. The other thing is it's important to know what people use for forward PE ratio. I think Y charts, for example, yes. All right. So this is interesting. So certain companies, and it's all about how the charts happen. So Y charts, for example, gives you a forward PE ratio of 40. Now, Y charts, the way they do PE ratio is the end of this fiscal year, right? So it's not the next 12 months, it's the end of this fiscal year. And the end of this fiscal year is January 31st, right? That's when their quarter ends. So when their quarter ends this year, in about 2 weeks, this is what the forward PE ratio is expected to be, 39.54. In theory, what this means is if this company reports earnings and it stays at this price, once it reports earnings and it stays at this price, this would be the PE ratio. Fiscal.ai, the way they do forward PE ratio, in my opinion, is the correct way. They do forward PE ratio being the next 12 months or pretty much the next 4 quarters, right? So I guess that's the difference of who you follow. If you're following anybody that's using the 40 and it's telling you forward PE ratio, I don't think you should follow them anymore. I really don't. I don't know who they are. If they're a buddy of mine, I'm sorry. Maybe just explain that to them. But forward PE ratio is usually the next 12 months, and this is the best and that's how you do it. Let's see. How do you feel about buying Intel before earnings? I mean, I don't own Intel and I wouldn't, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. It's run up a nice amount. I mean, there's definitely the growth opportunities, but to me, it's like the risk to reward ratio isn't there for me. Yeah, so hopefully I answered that question. Are you looking into Silicon Motion after they partner with NVIDIA? It sounds interesting. Even I haven't just yet, but Yvette, I think it was you that brought it up maybe 2-3 days ago. I have it on the list here. This is one that I'm gonna try to probably do a little bit research on in the weekend. Let's see what other questions we have here. How much would you recommend going 100% out of curiosity? I mean, Sean, I'd never recommend anything. I just share my overall thoughts. I personally would never do 100% of any stock, no matter how bullish I am. I think the max would probably somewhere like 25, 30%, right? I'm not, I'm not in the point where I need to completely YOLO to be wealthy, right? But I'm also not in the point where I need to be extremely safe. I feel like if I really, really, I don't know if YOLO, but really be extremely concentrated, I'm not there yet, right? I want to preserve my cash, but also grow it, if that makes sense, right? So I can't do 100%. I can't. 2025, I don't think I wouldn't be scared owning a 25% of AMD. 25th is a Sunday. That's impossible. See, Marian was giving us false information. I'm pretty sure this has to go back to NVIDIA. Arizona the cat. Arizona the cat. Is that a cartoon? Now I'm curious. That's not an actual cat, but now I'm probably going to get hit with cat videos. FTCI might be worth a look. FTCI stock. What do they do? FTC Solar. So another solar company. It seems like there's been a massive solar excitement right now. Um, who has been talking about solar recently? What is this demand that's happening just in the past few days, or at least today? Is it just the energy needs on solar? Let's see what else do we have. Thoughts on AGI effect on the stock market? Elon just said we might have AI that's smarter than any human by the end of the year, no later than next year. I'd say I first would add a few months at least to that. Um, I don't know. I mean, that's the $1 million question on the stock market. I mean, I think you'll still be able to find stocks, right? I think the market at one point is run on future expectations. It's run on certain stocks are in theory also run in vibes, right? And not vibes, but like by a community and stuff like that. I don't think there's going to be too much effect on like the actual stock market and investing. Now, AGI as an investment point of view, I think it's going to, if you do have that, you're going to need a lot of compute, right? If you have an AI that's smarter than any humans, the amount of compute that you need is crazy, right? So in theory, if AGI, I would be extremely bullish on the semiconductor industry. I'll be extremely bullish on anything semiconductor or AI related. And the thing is, it's always going to be a race, right? Once AIs are smarter than humans, that's not the end game. That's not the end goal, right? Then the race is, are you smarter than a human? And I think AI I would say, is smarter than a human right now. But then companies are going to be like, my AI is smarter than this AI, than this AI, than this AI, right? Then humans no longer become the benchmark, and that AI race continues. So I don't think humans being smarter than any humans is the end game. Um, it's just like a level, and then the next level is just another AI machine, right? If US has the best AI companies, China's going to want to make the best AI companies. So you're going to see that competition. If Anthropic has the AI model, OpenAI or Google is going to want the best AI model, and you're just going to continue to see that fight. Because if not, you're going to end up fighting it. So let's go. Um, have you looked at Ambarella? I've looked at it. I can't. I know they make AMBA stock. I think they make CPUs, right, for the edge, like you were mentioning, right? And I think they focused on the automotive market. Yeah, with the system drivers, but I think all this can easily translate to edge AI. That can translate to robotics. It can translate to drones and so much more. So I see that opportunity, but I don't know much outside of that. Right, that's the best thing. I mean, let's quickly, if you want, let's look at their. I just want to see revenue growth, revenue expectations, simple stuff. Right, let's keep it simple. And let me zoom out. So let's look at quarterly basis. So we're looking at revenue. So you are seeing a nice boost here. Actually, a nice growth happening from something. Is this the AI Edge? I know they just recently released a new chip, like I think a quarter ago. So you're seeing growth here. Now the market is not expecting much growth. Is that there's not enough analysts following it? If there's not enough analysts following it, and the growth is actually going to be even better on a sequential basis, I think that would be extremely bullish for the stock. But first thing I would want to see for Ambarella is look at their recent presentation, see what they say about next quarter's guidance. Ask yourself, are they sandbagging it? Why was there a massive jump here? Could this happen next quarter? If it does, I think that could be extremely big inflection point for the company. Let's look at their balance sheet really quickly. I just want to see total cash. Cash is improving. Do they have long-term debt? It doesn't look like they have really much long-term debt. Even total liabilities, right? This company, in theory, can use all its cash and cash equivalents to do all its total cash. So balance sheet is pretty great. Let's look at cash flow. I'm just curious to see free cash flow and cash flow from operations. All right. So why was there? So there is a massive cash flow jump again this quarter, and not much is expected next quarter. Why is that the thing, right? Why are things changing? I would love to hear. It seems like the market is not expecting much for this company for next quarter. Now, this is where you end up asking, is the market missing it? And if they are, then that's where the opportunity arises. It's trading at a very high forward PE ratio. I would say that's probably the biggest negative from at least that really, really top level overview. Um, yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here? Trying to answer as many questions as I can. I asked if anyone had any knowledge of it in, yep, they are, oh, wow. So this is the one you just bought. Nice. Let's see. What else do we have here? And remember, just post questions. We're just getting questions. Anything in the data center is just going crazy. Jose, what? We don't go in and out of positions in a month. You know, Buck, this guy's just trolling here. We don't do that. Big Buck's a long-term investor as well. Intel Rocket, Intel maybe Rocket. As a semiconductor content creator, Intel's earnings, I want volatility, right? It's gonna help me think of videos to make for the next few days. Is Redwire Trader play as of now, or is there any news on it? I don't follow that one. I switched from NVIDIA to Santis. That is insane. That I wonder what made you change. That is a crazy, crazy change. You can also take back your initial investments, then you can lose. That is also true, right? Starbucks, I know that definitely is what many people do, and then you just let the rest right up. Any thoughts on GitLab? I mean, software play I enjoy, but the software market gets eaten up. It gets eaten up right now. Um, Taylor, we keep hearing over and over the bottlenecks as energy. It seems like a lot of energy plays are played out. Any ideas of where to start searching for opportunity there? Taylor, I think if the bottlenecks are still here, some of the names that have run up are going to still be the ones that run up next. You just have to find the one that that has an actual growth opportunity, right? Certain names might just be riding up on the wave. Certain names might be riding up just because they're actually really good companies. So I think that's the thing. Jonathan, you once mentioned that Navitas. What is your opinion on the company today? Company is still, the opinion is the same as it's been since the beginning. I think Navitas is a stock that will be in the short term extremely volatile and being moved by press releases. Any press releases that announce a new partnership, that announce a new update to the 800-volt partnership with NVIDIA, anything bullish would create a massive reaction, especially since it's a $2.4 billion. So in the short term, I think this is just one that moves with the news. I think in the long term, there's opportunity, but it's at $10 right now. This is a stock that multiple times in the past 6 months has hit $6. I don't think it's impossible for it to hit $6 and $7 again, right? Highly volatile stock, big stock that moves with any form of news in the short term, because at the moment, they're still not going to be getting any real revenue from certain data center solutions that they announced. So I think it's a trader play. I think it's a trader play for now. Where are we? But Intel puts for next week. I don't know if I should say best of luck retail, because I want you to make money, but then I'm pretty sure there's some Intel investors that don't want you to make money. Intel should be a good one long term, but AMD is better. I agree. I like AMD better. Redwire, any news? I don't follow this one, Akash. I was at one point 120 plus on AMD because of leverage. Mr. A, that's pretty intense. Hopefully played out well for you. Hopefully it was during a recent time frames and not when the pull down. Never put all your eggs in one basket. I agree. I don't think I would ever do a 100% position. I'm 16% in Google and 16% in Amazon. Not financial advice, but I think that looks good, right? I own Amazon, I own Google. I think long term, both of those are great players. Oh, I had a cat named Arizona. Oh, that's pretty cool. Arizona the cat. That's pretty cool. Elon was talking about solar. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about. Yeah, Elon was talking about solar at Davos. Elon talked about solar. All right, all right, all right. We're getting somewhere. I wanted to go 30% Marvell, but Gemini told me a very bad idea. I mean, I don't know. Marvell I own it. I don't know if I could do 30% on Marvell. It's a riskier play, in my opinion. I think Marvell, I personally, 10%, 10 probably would be my limit. 10 or 15. Um, there's no need to go 100% in this market. That actually is true, right, Simon? You can find multiple companies to expect huge gains from, right? You definitely, you've seen it, right? I mean, you invest a little bit in solar, a little bit in energy, a little bit in robotics, a little bit in just don't invest in software is what the market is telling you right now. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what if pretty much if you just didn't invest in software, you probably are green still um, during this market. Let's see what else do we have. Sorry to have such a no. It's California, and I don't know what the Oh, California native. Oh my God. I was like, I don't know what NAV stands for. California native. That is awesome. And I'm guessing Interstate 66 is in California too. I learned something new. Bam. Bam. I am happy I learned. Now, is that your license plate too? I feel like that could be a pretty cool license plate. Now I'll never forget that. I probably will. I bought AMD at its lows back in April, and because of its run up, it's fifth. That's nice. I mean, I think that's nice. I think $1 trillion opportunity, but 57% gets scary. I'm pretty sure it gets scary at times. I would focus on battery, not solar, because Trump is against it. That's what I thought. Well, I don't follow too much some of the aspects there, but I know recently there was like I guess some negative press on the solar. Definitely some interesting side on the battery side, right? The battery side, especially in the data center. But both could actually, I mean, if the market needs it, the market needs it. Uh, FTCIO is the Chilean Enfys guy, squishes solar systems through software and transistor. Never heard of it, but appreciate the knowledge there. Uh, smarter, who? Marco. Smarter than God. Who's that? There's no one. Great insight into the sector. Appreciate it. The real one. Um, any thoughts on Cypher? No real thoughts. Tibbet. I'm pretty sure that's not it. I'm pretty sure that's not it. So my apologies. Yeah, you come to this channel for wrong name calling, but it's gonna move with this data center market, right? I prefer some other names. These are kind of like they're kind of switching over to high performance computing and AI. How well are they going to do it? What kind of power do they have? What are some of the assets that can help them grow? What does their management look like in this AI race? I think with this whole AI market, a lot of these are going to run up, even if their products are not as strong, just because of all the constraints. I'm not bearish on Cypher. I'm bullish just on the overall market. And to me, I prefer to go with it with CRWV and NBIS. But that doesn't mean that's bad. What do you think of VRT? I mean, VRT, great for the AI infrastructure play, right? I mean, they deal a lot with the cooling side, with the power side on these data centers. They have a great partnership with NVIDIA and all the data centers that are building these massive AI factories. So that's awesome. But I don't know. One reason I didn't invest in them was I didn't know my thoughts, they were already a big company. And I felt that I would rather be more happy owning a semiconductor ETF. And I think right now it played out really well, unless you bought out in like the lows. I'm gonna stick with that, right? I think BRT is gonna be it's gonna provide positive returns to investors. Um, but I think AI or semiconductor or Mag 7 ETF might perform similar to it. And if it does underperform to those, or if those underperform VRT, it's not going to be by much. Um, So bullish, but I think I would rather put my money somewhere else. Q Cooler stock. Not too familiar with that one. I want to recommend you a YouTube channel. Airing. You want to recommend a YouTube channel airing at 3? They're airing at 3. Are you open to that? I mean, recommend you. Go ahead. Um, what's going on, Matt? So, what should you use to measure the comment that AI is smarter than humans in a way? Yeah, I agree. Right. So, how can you comment, right, Simpson? Um, in my mind, AI is already smarter than a lot of humans, than most humans. What ends up measuring? Well, what's going on, people? Let's see. What do you think of Elf? Elf, is this the beauty company? I don't really follow this market. Yeah, I don't follow it. Not much I can say here. I would just say, are sales increasing, margins improving? Like, what? Those are the type of questions. If I was to enter in something like that, I would want to see. Um, Smarter doesn't equal more productive. That is true, right? You might be smarter, but if you don't know what to do with it, that's why I think it's not about smarter, but it's something that can really do a lot of tasks at once. I think that's going to be great. Cassie, Lane, hi, Jose. Hi, welcome. Vistra keeps bouncing between 150 and 200. Nebius or CoreWeave? Why? I personally like CoreWeave between Nebius. I own both. CoreWeave is a bigger position. I like the pure AI infrastructure play. Nebius definitely has those other opportunities as well. But as a pure AI infrastructure player, I don't think there's anyone that's going to be beating CoreWeave. That's just my take. I know I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but no one's touching CoreWeave right now where we're standing. In forms of reliability, in forms of revenue from this business alone, in forms of active power, in forms of scale of the data centers. I don't think anyone's touching CoreWeave in forms of debt. Someone should say that, right? No one's touching CoreWeave in forms of debt because CoreWeave has the biggest debt out of all. But yeah, I personally I like both. I own both, but CoreWeave is better. Musk will soon be producing more chips than can bring online. Bearish. More chips for what? I usually think he talks about this, but I think it's for his cars, right? He's going to be producing more chips for his cars. His cars have a different type of need. It's not for the AI data center space, right? It's his his FSD chips. The great thing he's talked about is his FSD chips. His FSD chips can most likely be used in the robotics market as well. So any chips that he has extras, he can kind of go and put it into the robotics market or any other aspect there. So his chips shouldn't be, I don't think, thought about as chips for like the data center or AI space. What's last April? AMD versus NVIDIA. Can you discuss briefly? I mean, NVIDIA's king is growing extremely cheap, but the biggest company in the world. When you're the top player, you have much to lose. That's what the market is thinking. There are leaps ahead in forms of technology. AMD, $300 billion, $400 billion market cap. It has a great opportunity with the MI400, has a partnership with OpenAI, has a great market in the CPU space. For a $400 billion opportunity, I think that could be $1 trillion company. I also believe NVIDIA could be a $10 trillion company. So bullish in both. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, I have AMD and also Intel. I know you have NVIDIA, you have AMD extremely low. Intel, you've been holding since 28 a share. What would you do going into these earnings? Because I'm very concerned that is overvalued. I think that that's such a personal question, right? It's all dependent on it. If I had AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA, it would all be dependent on portfolio allocation. Do these three, how big is my Intel position compared to these other players? If it's a small player, maybe I really wouldn't be too worried. If it's a huge player, I don't know, 100% run up in a few months, maybe bring it down to a size where I still feel happy owning. but I wouldn't be extremely sad if the stock declines, right? It's the best of both worlds, right? You don't have to completely sell everything, and you don't have to completely hold everything. Um, there's always a number in everybody's portfolio that you no longer get that fear or that gut feeling that, oh man, I should have sold. Oh man, I should have bought more. Once you have your perfect position sizing, and it all depends on allocation, I think you get to make better decisions overall. Um, so I think I guess it's all about position. Thoughts on PLAB? No thoughts on that one. Thoughts on Mo? No thoughts. Would you sell Microsoft? I wouldn't sell Microsoft, but I wouldn't be buying. Right? It's very rare for me to sell a stock, um, unless like Microsoft is extremely overvalued, and like the rest of the Max 7 were extremely cheap. But Microsoft, I think, is going to continue to do well. Based on prices now, how would you rank them? Oh, this is interesting. I think NVIDIA, AMD, Amazon. Um, but NVIDIA, why can't I do all three? Can I make a three? If I could make all three equal weight, if I was to buy like new money, I think all three can actually do well. Mm. I think NVIDIA and Amazon, though, might move a little bit similar to each other. So like maybe I would, if new money was coming in, just random thought here, it would be like maybe 40% AMD, 30% NVIDIA, 30% Amazon, because NVIDIA and Amazon, since they're big players, I think they might move pretty similar. Cassie, do you think TSMC and ASML both exhibit dual optimistic qualities in the semiconductor industries? I am sorry, but I mean, they definitely, ASML, like, I mean, if TSM and ASML disappeared, obviously the market would completely vanish. The semiconductor market would be destroyed without those two players. So I think that alone tells a lot about the semiconductor industry of how crucial they are. I think in the short term, especially in the short term, if TSMC just leaves, the market's done. ASML, because you have some equipment already and that equipment can be used over and over, it might take some time before, like when they say if the sun explodes, you will know until about 8 minutes or so. I forget what the actual time is, but you will know. I think that's what it is. For TSMC, it's like a volcano erupting on Earth. If TSMC was gone, you would feel that almost instantaneously. ASML, because of the equipment and a lot of manufacturing lines are out there, if ASML disappears, you feel like you'll be okay for the first few months, but eventually you start to feel that pain. Both. Why can't it be both? Why does it have to be AMD versus NVIDIA? Huh? It could just be both. I think AMD, if executed correctly, if the MI450 does well, it is a bigger multi-bagger opportunity. I think NVIDIA is, while it is the biggest player, it's going to continue to dominate and grow at crazy levels never seen before. There's a difference between the companies as well as their stocks. Sometimes the stock of a company will be, yes, that is true, right? I agree with this, Jose. I don't know. Hello again from Israel. My name is Asaf, and you specifically added a few more 100Ks to my portfolio. That is wild. When will CRWV hit 120? I don't know. I hope soon. I think, I mean, I think CRWV is going to be one of, I'm happy to hear this, right? I'm happy. No problem. Appreciate the support. I think CRWV, it's volatile, right? CRWV is extremely volatile. If we have some earnings coming up this upcoming week and next week in the AI space, if any of them say anything extremely bullish about the AI market, you can see a nice run up, right? Especially next week. I do think next week we have some big names. I think next week we have the big players, right? I think we have Microsoft next week. Yeah, we have Meta Platforms. We have Microsoft. We have Tesla. We have AMD somewhere, I think. No, we don't have AMD next week. But we have Nebius. Like, if any of these companies just go extremely bullish on the data center market, it could just keep the whole data center space running. So next week, I think, could be a really, really good week for the AI space. And this is the 5-minute warning, guys. Simon loves his iron. It's over 20% of my portfolio currently. It might get a lot higher this year. What are we at right now with this one? I have a spread. I think it's the only, I have spreads on it. 52. I need, my spreads are extremely cheap now. So my spreads are on the cap 55 by the end of next year. So as long as that happens, I will be good. What's going on, Riz? I missed it again. Was busy at work. No worries. No worries. I'm on every day, except I don't know about tomorrow. Maybe not Fridays. But every day except Fridays. But maybe I might be on tomorrow. SK Hynix earnings. Yeah, SK is actually next week. Anything there could be bullish for the AI market, even though many people don't follow it, right? Because it is a Korean-based company. They report at some odd-ass hour. Well, odd for us in the United States, not odd for them. January 28th is a big day. Have you agree, right? We had those crazy earnings. That could be a huge, huge bullish day for the data center space. Have you looked at EOM? I have not. Have you spoke on CLS, possible not reporting Google TPUs? CLS? Puppy, oh, 001. Sus is what, heck, making me say that name. I don't know. CLS possibly not reporting Google TPUs. What is that? What is CLS? What is CLS? That's where I'm getting my mix up real quick. In past year, AMD and Intel were always competitors. I think that's always going to be the case, right? Always doing the case. Very limited, extremely limited, and it's very protected. It's not anything open. In forms of, am I doing options? Very, very limited. Can I have a share or two of NVIDIA? Yeah, 2,800. Nice, nice. I mean, see, in that 200 shares of Intel, I mean, you're, like you mentioned, obese, NVIDIA, obese. Even compared to AMD, I think AMD would be 4 times bigger. I don't know. That would be a tricky one. I don't know what I would do here. Sell 50 shares, if that? Or if not, maybe not sell shares, right? If I want to sell shares, maybe sell, you have 200 shares, maybe sell 1 call, right? Either the 50 shares or maybe sell 1 call to get some upside and a little bit further up in the money. But at least then you can reduce your cost basis even more. If it goes up, then you're still going to get some upside because you sold the call a little bit higher. If it goes down, you still got at least some of your dollar cost average down a bit. 1 call or maybe 50 shares is how I would play it, not financial advice. What do you want to hear during Intel's earnings today? New foundry customer? That would be awesome. That would be great. And yes, I think Panther Lake is going to steal the show. More updates on Panther Lake. And what does that deal with Intel's margins, right? Because they have been doing a lot with TSM. How will, now that Panther Lake is out, now that brings more wafers internally, how is that changing the manufacturing line? How is that changing the foundry business, right? The foundry is going to see revenue boost from that as well. So margins improvements because of that. When is the inflection point of Panther Lake? Because obviously it's always a ramp up, right? It's always a ramp up in the always a ramp up in the manufacturing space. So, well, Panther Lake PCs are out now. Well, Panther Lake, we're not at full production. Yes, yeah. So more about that that supply chain line. And any new foundry customer would be good, but I'm gonna say they probably have a foundry event later this early in the first half of this week. Wolfspeed silicon demand is growing, right? It's growing because it's actually going into data center power solutions, right? The power market is pushing for this, right? But it's weird. I just typically have never dealt with a company that kind of filed bankruptcy and then I don't know what ended up happening here. is all that noise over? Is shares going to be diluted more with something? I just, that's what worries me. Because right, they just filed bankrupt and then they changed the ticker, which is actually the same ticker. Um, so that's what freaks me out a little bit here. Thinking, no, 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 I don't know. If MI 450 does extremely well, then yes. But then NVIDIA would have the Vera Rubin already out. I think it would, if 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 the MI 450 does extremely well, it's possible. If it takes a little bit longer than expected, I think. Now, okay, maybe let me answer it this way. I think NVIDIA hits $5 trillion, right? I think NVIDIA hits $5 trillion. I think AMD has the opportunity to hit $1 trillion. That's my man. That's my thought process on these two companies, right? One, I feel a lot more sure of hitting certain numbers. One, I believe is a multi-bagger has the opportunity to be a multi-bagger opportunity. Um, Jose, your time is up. It is up 12:01. Thank you, Big Buck. I appreciate it before my babysitter ends up leaving. I gotta go put the little one to sleep. It is his nap time. Well, maybe in a bit. First, I gotta go read a book. He's gonna tell me about his day with the babysitter. And then we'll probably play for a bit and then nap. But appreciate y'all for the 1 hour of Q&A session. We will be back on tomorrow. I think so. I think so. I think my wife is off tomorrow, so I might do a live stream. Uh, so yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm gonna awkwardly try to leave the stream as I always do. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get 33% off the AI chip community, use code 2026 for 33% off on the annual play. A lot of great content I provide there. I'm biased, but I think it's great. But yeah, catch you all later and time to end this session.